And let's now shift our attention to Pakistan. It is fighting a battle of its own, a battle against its homegrown terror outfits. Outfits that Islamabad bred and nurtured only to find itself at the receiving end of their actions. The blast in Peshawar on the 30th of January came as a telling reminder about this very fact. A powerful explosion ripped through a mosque, reducing parts of it into rubble and killing over 101 people. This was by far the deadliest attack in Pakistan since the Army Public School massacre. The question is, who was behind it? Initially, the Tehreek-e-Taliban had claimed responsibility for the attack, only to distance itself from it later. So the authorities are back to square one. They have been left collecting clues and detaining possible suspects. Some of the suspects were detained earlier today. The police has not revealed their names, nor the details about their role, but it did say that the bomber who conducted the attack may have had internal assistance from the officials, assistance that helped him evade security checks. And this leaves one wondering about the state that Pakistan has gotten itself to, where Pakistan's own officials are allegedly helping terrorists kill their own people. There is unfortunately no other way of putting this. For decades, Pakistan funded terror groups to gain an upper hand over India. It trained them, armed them, and gave them shelter, only to have its own hand bitten. And I am saying all of this because this attack is not an isolated incident. In the last 18 months, Pakistan has seen many similar attacks. In fact, the month of December last year was the most violent one on record. There were at least 24 terror attacks, 24 attacks. And just a month into 2023, Pakistan witnesses its most violent attack in almost a decade. This only shows how the clouds of terror have completely engulfed the country. Be it the TTP, the Tehreek-e-Taliban, or the Afghan Taliban, they all seem to be waging a silent war against the Pakistani state. And if I speak of the TTP specifically, last year it mounted over 367 attacks, 367, killing over 1,015 security officials. And these attacks were not just restricted to the tribal areas, some of them also unfolded in major cities like Islamabad. And then we have the Baloch insurgents. Reports say they conducted over 500 attacks in Pakistan last year, killing a total of 800 people. Most of these attacks unfolded in Balochistan and targeted some big projects launched by Islamabad. And then we have the Afghan Taliban. Throughout the last 6 months, it has been fighting with Pakistan over the Durand Line, the line that forms the border between the two sides. There has been cross-border firing, attacks on Pakistan security officials, and warnings telling Islamabad that times have changed, that the era of a Taliban silently following Pakistan's orders is long gone. And what does that tell you? That Pakistan is facing challenges on 3 fronts, from the insurgency in Balochistan to the TTP's terror in the country's north, to an increasingly assertive Taliban in Kabul. It is triple trouble for Islamabad. And what this also highlights is how the myth of Pakistan's policy of strategic depth has been busted. The myth of Pakistan using Afghanistan as a 6th province against India, that has completely collapsed. And this is embarrassing to say the least. The question here is, inflation in Pakistan has hit a 48-year high, a 48-year high. I am not the one saying this. Pakistan's own central bank is saying this. It says at 27.55%, Pakistan is seeing the highest inflation rate since May 1975. And what's worse, economists say this figure could increase in the days ahead. The implications are already clear. For the last 1 week, containers of goods items, raw material, equipment have been stuck at ports because Pakistan does not have money to buy them. It has curtailed all imports. And let's not even talk about the Pakistani rupee. The country's own media says that it has become the worst performing currency in the world. This was after the rupee hit an all-time low of 270 against the dollar. Today, it picked up to 268 against the dollar, but analysts are saying this is just a minor improvement and the worst is yet to come. What does that tell you? That Pakistan is stuck between a rock and a hard place, just to put it mildly. On one hand, it is dealing with the resurgence of terror, and on the other, it is dealing with an economy on a deathbed. And from where I see it, there is no way Pakistan will be able to come out of these two situations anytime soon. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.